Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon. John Zager. How is everybody? What a beautiful day here. 12:24, Friday. 12:24, Friday. Blue sky. Absolutely blue. Beautiful. There's a little tiny couple clouds up over Long's Peak, it looks like. Not much. Real small amount. Temperature, 78. What do you think about that? 78 degrees. And, boy, I've been busy today. Having just a great day. Getting a lot of stuff done. Had a great blog. And got a lot of business done earlier this morning. So, been inside working. Have my solo cup and this fly that's decided to come along for the ride. But I'm thinking it might be time to not have this fly in here. But anyway, got a lot of stuff done today, and I'm happy about that. I'm going to roll down the windows to see if he'll go out and find his friends. So we're going to have a little bit of road noise for a while, you guys. Unless he decides to not leave, then you'll hear me slapping my hat at him all afternoon. Boy, the divide looks good. Looks good. No snow on the foothills. Divide's all covered white. It's good. It's good. Have my solo cup with iced tea. And I fixed a smoothie a little while ago. Just with all kinds of fruit. Everything I could find. All kinds of fruit. It was great. And I have a lot left. And I'll sip on that this afternoon as I'm going about my day. So podcast. The name of the podcast today is going to be Unified Field. But it's really about how we are all one. Right? I've been thinking about this a lot lately. And I think it's stuff, maybe we can talk about for a little bit. And if you guys want to call in today, please do. 970-443-5111. Just feel free to call. I'll answer the phone right now. And if it's not somebody calling in for the podcast, it'll be somebody calling in for whatever, who knows what. But that's okay. Call in if you have a question. So, unified field. Here's the deal. As near as I understand it, in neuroscience, right? When you do meditation, you're trying to get over your analytic mind from your conscious brain to your subconscious, which is your operating system. Yeah? All right. And where you're trying to get to is a place called the unified field. It's where everybody else is. It's where every other living thing's energy is. Make sense? Doesn't have to make sense. It's just science. And so that's where we all want to go, because if we want to change things, right, don't you think it's better changing things when you have a multitude of energy accessible to you rather than just yourself? Now, please understand, you are powerful. You have all kinds of energy just on your own. You're capable of doing things extraordinarily, right? Okay. But what we want to do, oh, I see they got the alfalfa down already. Third cutting. Ah, that's good looking alfalfa. What we want to do is we want to get to the energy field. Well, they call that the unified field. Who cares what they call it? It's where all the energy is. Okay? So in my meditations in the past several days, I've been working on heart coherence. Heart coherence. And what heart coherence meditation is trying to put all of your thoughts into the center of your chest, which is your fourth energy center. Okay? And to try to pick up the vibrations that are coming out of there and get synchronized with your fourth energy center vibrations. Now, the next step. The heart chakra, or fourth energy center, is about love, compassion, kindness, joy, thankfulness, just every imaginable emotion that is what am I trying to say? Every emotion that is healing and loving to one another. Now, I don't want to get off on a deep end here and, start talking about, love and this, that, and the other thing. I'm not trying to go there. I'm saying that this is kind of a pragmatic approach. So bear with me till I get through it, because I'll connect it in the end. But pragmatically speaking, the world's in a pretty pretentious position in that everybody is not feeling the love, right? They're just not feeling the love. And you can see that if you watch the news, which I force myself to just not ever turn on that news at 5 o'clock or 5:30, whatever it is, and listen to the radio and all of that. And just the discounting, divisive, mean, malicious, hateful, hurtful, selfish kind of emotions. That's all you hear, right? That's not the unified field. That's not where all the positive energy is. That's not where the love is, right? And what if, and this is what Dr. Joe does, I think he's doing these more often, these heart-brain coherence worldwide, to where a couple times a year He gets thousands and thousands of people from all over the world together to, connect with their fourth energy center. And connect with their fourth energy center and try to spread that sort of emotion worldwide. And the research, this is science, this is neuroscience, the research is that that affects the impact of what people are doing in the world amongst each other. They actually have traced it back to when there's wars going on, that wars subside, that people are not fighting as much, that people are not as hostile as they used to be. If you get enough people having heart coherence, hooking up to the unified field, you have an impact on the world. They had some other statistics that were just amazing. And you can just stop killings, and you can just reduce the amount of violence. I don't know if they did it with Chicago or not, but the cities where there's a lot of killings on weekends and that kind of thing, it lowered substantially. It's kind of amazing. Sidebar. You guys that listen to me know I do sidebars. Bob Marley. I watched a special on him yesterday. And he became an icon over in Jamaica, right? And the world, because of his living in his fourth energy center of spreading the love, right? And that transferred to all of the people who followed him, number one, all the people who listened to his music, number two, and to this day, he's still spreading the love, so to speak. Now, what that means, if you don't, get too carried away with the whole thinking process here, we're not trying to go off the deep end, but he was basically saying, as they went through this documentary, that no matter how bad the world is and how evil people can be and hateful and how ugly the place can be, the way you solve that is through love, through the fourth energy center. Everyone hooking up together through the unified field. And if he could live that, portray that, model that, speak that, talk about it, then other people got in the unified field with him. Now the difference is, he didn't sit down and do a meditation, every day to get into the unified field. He was already there through his person. He already was living through his fourth energy center. And that was his, that's what he pictured as his destiny, that he wanted to do. Right. I'm going to roll this window back up. I think my fly left. And in turn, everybody else who got on the bandwagon, so to speak, didn't sit down and do a meditation, but they immediately transferred into that fourth energy center and hooked up in the unified field. You guys get that? So there are people in very ugly places that have horrible life experiences that have been able to go down the path of heart coherence. Right? They've been able to go down that path of heart coherence. And contrary to the way you would think, that they might come out maybe bitter, hateful, resentful, anti-authority and all that kind of thing, and not be that way. And what happens is that those people end up modeling, and other people want to be a part of that. Right? So the last few days, now I'm going to kind of connect it for what I've been doing and how I got on this podcast today. What I have been doing the past several days is working on. I mean, I've done this a lot, but now I'm trying to focus a lot of energy on it. I'm trying to work on heart coherence. And the word that I use when I do my meditations around fourth energy center work, I'm using the word kindness. I mean, you could use love or, the words, whatever you imagine. I mean, you can use any word. But for me, I'm thinking in terms of kindness. Now, here's the interesting part. If anybody's listening, which I never know if I'm talking to myself or one other person, but when I'm doing my meditation around heart coherence and I'm focusing on the word kindness, I'm trying to get into the unified field. Yes? And imagine the world in a state of kindness. And me being in a state of kindness with everyone in the unified field, and all of the energy in there is enmeshed into kindness. I don't know, can you see that? That's pretty, I don't know, maybe that's a little bit far out, but how is it any different than when you walk around during the day, go about your daily business and whatnot, you're trying to be kind to people. I hope you're being kind to people. At the end of my podcast, I always say, take care of one another. That's another way of saying, be kind to one another. But what if you could sit down in the evening, and let's say you're not a meditator, but you get some quiet time, and all that love stuff is a little bit hokey pokey for you. What would happen if you sat down in the quiet of your house somewhere, home, garage, car, tent, and just put yourself in a state of kindness and seeing yourself enmeshed in a world of kindness to where everybody is blended together. And there is no individual figures. And the whole world is all the same, and there's no distinguishing marks that individualizes anybody. And the world is in a state of kindness. I'm going to give you one other example on trying to connect the dots. Oh, I don't know. I'll just use a couple examples I've got. You guys can figure out your own examples. So I've been to Hawaii a lot, and there's certain parts where you can go down and walk along the ocean, and you can see these down at the bottom of the ocean, which, in those parts, it's usually along a dock or a pier. It might be 50 foot or 30 foot or 20 foot or who knows what. But you can see all the way down to the bottom, and you can see all these colorful fish. Small fish, they're not big fish. And they're all swimming around together, maybe like 300 of them. And they all move the same way. Right, left, up, down, forward, back, blah, 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 blah. And they look like one. That's called enmeshment. There is no leader. There is nobody in the back guiding the pack. There is nobody on the right side or the left side or the top or the bottom. There is no leader. They're all one. They're all enmeshed. They're all in the unified field. They all think exactly alike. When one fish thinks right, everybody thinks right at that exact degree of turn, everything down to the precision marks. What's called enmeshment. That's where everybody is the same. Everybody is thinking the same. Everybody is in the unified field, so to speak. Second example. We'll just use geese. We'll use Canada geese. I mean, it works for all kinds of birds, but it works for all kinds of birds, you guys. I'm just going to give you one example. So if you see a flock of Canada geese, and let's say they're in terms of energy, and we're all enmeshed. Beautiful day. Friday. Yay, Friday. God bless everybody. Take care of one another, and I will look forward to talking to you all again real soon. Thanks. See you. Bye.